I'm going to be doing a review of the Insider Keep It Simple from Harry's Holsters. Now, the reason it's the Keep It Simple version is basically because the standard setup for this is either the quick clip or the soft loops. Now, if you were to order this, the quick clip will cost you nothing, but the soft loops will cost you a little bit more, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But basically, this is how I got it right out of the box, checked it, fit for me. So I ran with it. So basically, I got sent a whole starter kit. I didn't really have anything really I needed from the starter kit, at least at this point in time. I will experiment a little later, but I figured this was good enough to just test the holster overall. And then I can test it with different parts on it afterwards. Now, anyways, so what you'll notice is there's a lot of holes drilled and there's some stuff going on here. This is basically all these holes. All this extra stuff is to make this holster adaptable to whatever circumstance. Now, that is the focus of Harry's Holsters now, is complete adaptability to whatever you want. Basically, it's one size fits all. Get the hardware you want and set it up however you want it, right? That way you don't need to buy like 10 of his holsters. You just get the holster set up for the gun that you want and then buy the hardware as you change. Say you like to carry a 3 o'clock one week or in one dress, and then you spend like $5 or $6 and get the piece of hardware so you can set this thing up so you can carry appendix and another set of clothing. So it's adaptable to whatever carry method that you want to use that day of the week or that month or that part of the year. So that's really the idea behind it. You can adjust your ride height, you can attach all these different struts and stuff, and we'll get into those again. We'll get into those in a little bit. But anyways, the first thing I want to cover is the general durability and quality. Now, I've had some experience with basically both sides of the spectrum of Kydex holsters, or at least Kydex-esque holsters. You have some that are built pretty flimsy that you can get on eBay and you can bend them back and forth like they're paper. This one, not so much. It's just barely strong enough to where you can't easily bend it, but it's not so hard where it's like you're carrying around a tank, and it's not like this. Like, I know some Kydex holsters that are going to be going for $100, maybe more, and then adding on the cost for attachments is also going to drain your bank account a little bit more. Not so much the case with this holster. So, with all that being said, I think that the quality of it is actually pretty good. It seems pretty precise. It has a good sweat guard, and it doesn't cover the magazine release. Some people may not like that. I don't know many people who actually actively complain about it, but I've heard it, cycled through the gun community here and there. But I do like the full sweat guard, goes all the way up, but not too far. And I think it's really well cut to all the important areas. Now, with that said, with those cuts, it also has good retention, by the way. I always forget about retention. But it's just kind of a thing. I adjust it accordingly and I'm done, right? But anyways, you'll notice here that all the way around this holster, these edges are very finely polished. It's like it just naturally ends, right? Well, each one of these is polished by hand, and there's only a couple of areas where you can actually tell, and it's really hard to tell that there's almost no marks on it. Now, I know of some other holster manufacturers that people rave about their quality, but you can actually see little grind marks around, these finer edges. And it's really hard to tell here where these areas were ground down, except for maybe a couple of areas that are like right here, but it's really hard to pick it up on camera where basically material bent over. But that's really all you're going to be able to see. So the quality it's pretty nice compared to some, mass-produced Kydex holsters. And again, retention's pretty good. So anyways, now let's go ahead and jabber on a little bit, shall we? As far as the company is concerned, it's basically a one-man operation. He basically does everything himself, and every now and then he has a little bit of help. but he also runs his own YouTube channel, and I'll put a link in the description below. And he also has an Instagram, also in the description below. But he seems to actually be very passionate about his stuff, and he engages a lot on social media, which I really appreciate. But you got to understand that there's going to be limitations to this, and this kind of segues into, I guess, the con of these holsters, and there's not very many options, I guess you could say. So when you're ordering these holsters, it's not like you're going to get every firearm that's out there. You can't get firearms that are popular, but not so popular. Like I'm more outside the box, if you will. If there's people like me that don't really have very many popular guns, like the 2 popular guns that I have that are on his list are the original PPS and the M&P Shield. I have very few guns that are, in his selection as far as like holster, like gun models for holsters. So I'm just kind of one of those out of the box guys that doesn't like to have the Me Too guns. I like to explore the gun selections, if you will. So that is a downside. I really like what he does, but he's kind of limited. He's on his own. You're going to have to deal with it. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about, the options you have. When you order one of these holsters, you can get a custom order, and that's going to cost you about $5 more just straight up, and of course attachments are going to cost you a little bit more, and you also have colors. You can select, it from a group of about 30 or more colors, and he has the full line of the Cryptek colors. So if you like those patterns, I believe it's going to be like 25 bucks. If I remember correctly, it's 25 bucks for one of the Crypteks because it's, a licensed color. So pretty much every company is going to charge you about that much. And I think his price is actually competitive to other companies. But anyways, you can get a custom holster, and you can select from a wide range of, setups, if you will, or a list of hardware that you want. And let's go over the hardware a little bit. So you have the soft loops. This is typically going to cost you $9 if you order it with the holster. If you just ordered the hardware, basically all you're going to be paying is $7. So I guess it's a $2 convenience charge for installation. But you can also get a quick clip, like if on the Keep It Simple model, if you just do the quick clip or whatever the top selection is, $0 charge. I don't know what's up with that, but that's my own critique. I prefer soft loops over this. I've had experience with these, not really a fan. Now, then you have this piece right here. So with this piece, you can adjust basically the cant and secure that in place. Next one is the overhooks. I believe this is called the tack clip or something of that nature, tack wear, but these are the overhooks. And these are more of what I'm accustomed to for, hybrid holsters, but with this being so close together, I don't really know how this would work. So I didn't really think this would be a good idea to attach when I'm trying to do an initial review of it. I would stick with something that I know will work pretty well. So you also can get a claw, or you can get this this little piece right here. It's kind of like a mod wing, if you will. So basically this is for appendix when you're trying to push against your clothing in order to basically push your grip against your body. So this will kind of help you do that and keep it concealed a little better. I'm not a really appendix carrier, so I don't really see the need for this. Now some of the holster selections he already has them pre-outfitted, with a claw and, overhooks, quick clips, whatever. This little doohickey, the little tack clip right here. And you do have options, or you can go the custom route, and you can select from a wide variety of little pieces of hardware. So anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and talk about price. Now, for something like this, the Keep It Simple, if you were to order no hardware, or if you wanted to order your hardware separately without the hardware, it's $65. Now, with this, with the quick clip, as I said, basically the first option is free, right? And it'll be free for the quick clip, at least for the Keep It Simple. This, as I said, $9. So, that's something to take into account. Personally, I would have just ordered these separately. Now, there is for the custom holsters, it's going to be more. Of course, you got to pay for the color, but besides the color, it's going to be $5 extra. So, you got to take that into account. Because you got to realize that he might not actually have the holsters available for the gun model you're asking for a holster for. So with all that said, you do have a lot of options. It's not really that bad of a price for what you're getting, I think, because basically, as I said, this is adaptable. So you basically buy whatever hardware you're going to need throughout the year and you're good to go. You don't need to buy like 10 of his holsters. Basically, you buy the holster for the gun, and then you buy the hardware attachments that you're going to need for the different occasions. Me, I might just stick with this year-round. Heck, I might convert over to this once I test it, or to these. Now, you can get a starter kit where all of this is given to you. And that kit right there would actually be about $85. So that gives you, and this is actually probably around $100 worth of stuff, and you're getting it at a pretty good deal, or a pretty good price, I should say. Now, if that's not good enough, here's something that's pretty awesome: first responder or military discount. So that's going to be about 20%, and there's a small process to it, but it takes like 5 or 10 minutes to get approved, and it's very quick. At least it was for me. And I think that really adds to the value of this holster. You don't really see that very often. So that's a pretty good deal. Now, some other things that you will get with your holster is some Loctite. This can be very invaluable, especially when you're switching from, different pieces of hardware and you need to secure them. So you also get a little bit of swag. I really like swag. I love stickers. Not really so much of a patch guy. You also get one of his cards, so you can contact him and bug him in the middle of the night, right? So then you also get some instructions and disclaimers talking about, the warranties and stuff like that, so, and maintenance. But as far as the warranty goes, basically if there's any, reasonable defect where one of his screws stripped off or one of these snaps doesn't work, these things are a pain in the ass at first, I will say, to get off, and then if you want to tighten them down or whatever. But, if anything is defective, he'll basically take care of it right away. You can't return custom holsters or hardware, but if I don't like this body, I can return it or exchange it, as long as I didn't, sit there and roll around in a gravel pit. That's basically what you're looking at if you're looking at getting a holster from Harry's Holsters. So it's a pretty good company as far as I can tell. I think the guy's running it pretty well. I really like that he keeps us up to date on the merchandise that he's putting out and keeps in touch with his, his supporters and his customers. So anyways, definitely check them out. I got the website and his social media down in the description below, and let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for watching.